to DXB today. Big focus for us today on content in all its different guises and forms. Yet we're talking traditional TV. You've tuned into that to see exactly that. We're talking about online content and, of course, at the silver screen, all things movies. Our next guest recently had his very own film, Beyond the Likes, premiered right here in Dubai. He's a multifaceted talent in Hollywood and across the globe, known for his work as both a producer, a writer and actor. Made history as the first African-American executive producer in the Rambo franchise as well. Please welcome Elijah Long. A long list of achievements there,
Thank
Mr.
you so
Long.
much.
Great to have you here in Dubai.
Thanks to be here.
Good trip so far?
It's been an amazing trip.
Yeah?
Amazing trip, yes.
Why release the film here in Dubai? Why was it important to premiere here in Dubai?
Well, a few reasons. We shot it here, not necessarily in Dubai, but in the UAE. And it was important for me to cross the cultures in a non-political way. So this is a romantic comedy feel to where, you have an American guy, falls in love with an Arab girl, loses the girl, and him and his friends have to come to Abu Dhabi to win her back over. So that's pretty much the storyline.
But in terms of the storyline and what it means for you, why it was important for you to make the film as well, what's the message behind it?
I came to the UAE and I was embraced in a way that I've never been embraced before. And so with this piece of work, it was more of my gift back to them in the form of film, and film lasts forever. And we'll be able to watch this film for years to come. And it's for the younger generation. This film was starring an individual named Matt Rife, which everyone pretty much knows now. He was a nobody when we shot this film, and that's what this film is about. It's life beyond the likes. And when he started posting, he became one of the biggest comedians in the world. And to have him here first was a milestone. So I wanted to give that back to the UAE and have the first world premiere here.
Elijah, I'm interested to know, we've been chatting earlier about how the industry is changing and developing, and I was just wondering, what is your take on that? Obviously, like, this is a movie that's going out, to a new audience, digital platform. Like, how has the development of television and film, and what's your take on it?
Well, film is forever changing. I want to say about a year ago, we had a really big strike in Los Angeles, and this was for the actors, it was as well as for the writers. And because of that change that was happening was the reason for the strike. Hey, there's different revenue streams, you can't really compute how many streams from one particular movie. Back in the day, I'm not aging myself, but back in the day we had something called Nielsen ratings, to where you knew how many people were tuning in, so therefore your agents and managers can negotiate accordingly. With the new platforms, you don't really know, and Netflix doesn't release those numbers.
Right.
So with that being said, you have to focus your work in a way to where the agents are, they're going after subscriptions, essentially, to where it's like, hey, if you're not gonna tell us what you stream, give a percentage of the subscriptions, because the way actors and entertainers live are those residuals in between those jobs. And so that's really what they're fighting for. And there's changes in regards to the streaming versus the typical TV. So, there's different things that change.
Definitely, definitely.
Elijah, tell us about any upcoming projects, maybe something in streaming, perhaps?
Something streaming, as far as new projects, Beyond the Likes is the latest. It's still in theaters now. Coming up, I have a horror film that I'm going to do. This is going to be pretty interesting. It's actually based around the world of influencers as well.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It is a terrifying one, I can confirm.
This particular one, you know what? I'm trying to aim towards this generation, because I had films that impacted me when I was coming up. So with this generation, it's saying things are beyond this social media that we focus on so much, so heavily. So this is, they come to a house, they're supposed to get these amazing brand deals. And
Filming here in the region?
We may not film this here in the region, but I'm gonna bring some more stuff back here.
Well, Elijah, I'm going to bring the discussion back to the UAE. I want to know what initially brought you here. I mean, you said you were embraced. It was all a very positive experience, and you're giving back.
Yes.
Now, I want to know what your experience was like filming here, and also, of course, why you initially came here, and what you would like to see happen here, develop here in terms of the film industry?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'll say this, COVID has its pros and cons because COVID was the reason that I came. When my industry shut down completely in Los Angeles, it's like, you know, let's try another region and check out and see what's going on over there. And I saw that there was a lot of information and also my creativity that I can bring to the region. And when I presented certain ideas to the government, they were very receptive of it. And so I welcomed it. And with that being said, I wanted to put my money where my mouth was. We rewrote the script to fit this particular region, and we ended up shooting it in this region. So I was thankful.
Can I ask you about money? I know it's really rude to talk money, but I want to talk money if we can, because you know, for years, for generations, we've heard that the biggest issue when it comes to movies and getting movies made is money. It's financing the project.
Absolutely.
It's getting the financiers on board, and we're seeing more and more executive producers and producers coming onto projects, etc. Again, in terms of financing, could this potentially be a part of the world that could get into the financing of film more here in the Middle East region?
100%. We actually had some assistance from DCT, in which we're very, very thankful for. They gave us amazing aesthetics, locations, Yas Island. It was just amazing. You can't pay for the Grand Mosque. You know, we were the first film to shoot in front of the Grand Mosque. We got the water park. We were able to shoot on the actual F1 Formula One racetrack. I mean, that's $1 million location, you know, so I was really thankful. So they did give us assistance. This can be a region that can completely take over the film industry. It's just how do we merge it? You know, it's about infrastructure. It's about taking it to the next level as far as the education. And so that's what I want to come here and implement.
Yeah, more people that come to town like you.
Yes,
are certainly going to build it.
Yes.
I mean, Elijah, I'd love for you to be able to give aspiring filmmakers, specifically here in the region, some advice. And even if they're not necessarily Arab or from here, but advice for making a movie here, starting off, getting that financing, whatever it is that you think would be beneficial.
Do something that makes change. Do something that evolves, and do something that incorporates the local talent. The local talent is what's going to push this forward. You know, the one thing that I wasn't able to do on my film is hire a lot of local talent, and this was because of the lack of education. So for all my filmmakers, I would say come here, and when you come here and teach as well. You know, I had a couple of people that were on my set that I had mirror me, you know, shadow me while I was on set, to where they can see what a day-to-day producer does, you know, not just the red carpet and the lights and everything like that. It's the work that goes beyond, but behind the camera.
The hard,
yeah, the hard, exactly.
A few cameos as well. I saw Noor Stars in there.
Yeah. I tried to bring on, you know, some local talent. So yeah, it was her career took another turn after that in a great direction when she was able to mix with the American stars, you know. So it's the fusion is what takes it to the next level, you know.
Elijah, is there a movie that really inspired you in growing up?
Growing up, I would have to say, you know what? I won't go back that far as to growing up, but I will say The Founder was a really, really impactful film on me. That was the story of McDonald's, if you didn't know that. But it's a story about believing in yourself. It's not too late. Focus is so many different things. It touches so many things about business. It's an amazing film. So check that out if you.
Just finally, one thing we haven't touched on is the digital age. We talked a lot about socials. We talked a lot about content throughout as well.
Yes.
How important is that to the marketing of a film at the moment? When you release that film, obviously it used to be get on the red carpet, do a few interviews, and you're away.
Social is everything.
Everything.
Majority of our marketing dollars went to social media. Social media, the influencers, because you have to realize one thing. When we were doing this movie, we presented this to a couple of people, and they asked me, they were older, why don't you have any stars in this movie? And we were like, okay. And I asked him, I said, look, do you have any kids? He said, I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. I said, show this picture to your kids. He comes back and sits down very humbly on the Zoom, and he goes, okay, so you have some stars, you know? Because his kids know these influencers backwards and forwards because they're in their face every day. A movie star gets on and promotes when they have a project coming out. So there's a disconnect. So with that being said, social media is everything, you know, because there's a constant reach to the actual audience that you're trying to reach. So.
Can't thank you enough for your time.
Oh,
here
thank you
today.
for having me.
Really appreciate you taking time out of the
Thank
busy
you so
schedule
much.
at the moment. The movie's still in the theatres, is that right?
Still in the theaters, Beyond the Likes.
Get yourself on there, Beyond the Likes.
Yes.
If you can't get to the theatre, check it out online.
Soon.
Oh, yeah. All the
The
buzzes
ink
going
hasn't
around.
dried yet.
All the socials around it as well.
Absolutely.
Great to have you.
Thank you
with
for having
us.
me.
Nadeem, thank you as well for being with us as well. If people want to catch up with the reviews, where do they go?
At Nads Reviews on Instagram and TikTok.
That's what it's all
Love it.
about. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you.
These guys are going to head off and talk films, talk movies in just a few moments' time. We're going to ask you to stay put. Why? Because we've got Larish who's going to be playing us out. Hard Rock Cafe, we're going to be heading down there after this.
Hey guys, Larucha here. My music is a mix of jazz, blues, soul, and funk. I make sure that all my music and all my lyrics are inspiring to other people. And I cannot wait to perform for you at the end of the show. Stay tuned.